David and I are from, as you've heard, Away Home Canada. We are a national coalition dedicated to transforming our responses to youth homelessness through policy planning, practice, and innovation. We're very excited to be here today to help us explore some current policies and their gaps through government, but other levels as well in Atlantic Canada. I'll just kind of go through the purpose, the breakout rooms, and the follow-up. And David, I'll just invite you to add in if I've mistaken anything, but I'm going to actually shorten this quite a bit from what I was going to say because we want to get into the meat of it. But we've already, I think, asked you to raise your hand if you are Francophone and want to participate in French. And Wendy's done that, but I'll just add that again. If you are French, please raise your hand in the reaction section of your Zoom window. So purpose. So what are we doing today? So we thought we'd love to start the policy conversation. I know we had some fantastic presentations earlier this morning. We wanted to start that policy conversation with you folks here so that you could, continue it throughout the conference and then beyond. So this is really just a starting point for us. We also wanted to try and capture themes from you folks and from what's going on and what's coming up for everyone in terms of policy, because we plan to do some post-conference policy work. But it's also really helpful when we're in small groups, especially to be able to share knowledge with each other about the current policy environment. So I think that sharing in small groups will be really helpful as we get to know each other. So the breakout rooms, David, did you want to add anything else for our purpose? Or?
No, keep going, you're doing great.
I'm gonna keep motoring through here. So the breakout rooms are, so what we've just devised are virtual roundtables with flip charts. So when we're in regular conferences, we break out, we have flip charts, we have that conversation. So we tried to simulate that as best as possible. It's not exact, so we may have some bumps, but I think it should work. Wendy, and I'm going to use the Star Trek theme here today, will transport you all into virtual Zoom breakout rooms in a moment. And there's a facilitator in each room. Some of the facilitators are from the ASI, but also we have a few here from our team at Away Home Canada that have graciously offered to help facilitate these rooms. So shout out to those folks. It won't be 20 minutes per question. we actually have a little bit less time, but we'll let the facilitators deal with the timing. And then the last 5 minutes or so, you'll be transported back into the main room. So if you feel a whoosh, that's what
your hair blows back.
Exactly. Or your atoms split or whatever. So we'll only have 5 minutes then for a follow-up, and we'll have that conversation. David will wrap it up for us, and we'll talk about what's next with this. So consider this a beginning. So Wendy, I think that's it for us. I think if you want to just break us up into our working groups, we're really happy to do that.
Wonderful. So one of the things I do need you to do is indicate with your hands raised whether or not you would like to be placed in a fully French environment. You can do that by looking at your participant window, or where you see your name, you can raise your hand there. And I ask you to just to keep your hand up so I can see it and move you.
First step, we're going to post an open doc with the questions that we were going through, just in case there were rooms where you didn't get through the full questions and you've got a burning desire to continue to fill out the content. So we're going to post that in the Whova chat, and so watch for that. The content that's been created thus far is going to be the start of what this policy brief around investments in Atlantic Canada for upstream mental health promotion should look like. And the reason why I say it's the start is that we're going to take this opportunity, these conversations, as well as a conversation that's going to happen tomorrow during the wrap up, and as well content that we're going to pull out of the evaluation and use that to be the foundation for how we work back with yourselves to develop a really concentrated, focused policy brief for Atlantic premiers. These are the priorities that we heard from the ASI conference. And this is where we believe investments should be made, not only just through recovery from COVID, but in mainstream policy solutions around upstream mental health promotion. And so don't think that your homework is over. Again, over the next sort of day and a half, please continue to contribute and provide feedback on those questions in the open link we develop and we share. Also, be sure to attend the last session of the day where we're going to talk a bit more about what this means and some of the other themes that we're seeing across the conference. And then lastly, fill out your evaluation. This is another opportunity for us to gain content from yourselves. And again, there is an option. We want this to be a policy brief that's developed with you and for you. And so there is an option to work collaboratively with myself and the team from Away Home Canada to develop that policy brief for Atlantic Premier. So there's a series of next steps. I hope you'll be engaged in all of them. And yeah, we look forward to your contributions. Mary Jane, anything else?
No, I think that's pretty great, actually.
Okay, then back over to you, Wendy. We're done here.
I want to thank Wendy though for all the work.
Yes. Oh yes.
And Pat
Amazing.
For all the lots of hits and misses here, and we all pulled together, so that was fantastic. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The last few weeks.
I'd like to thank David and Mary Jane for designing this process and for committing Away Home as a lead on this to get us all working together on a policy brief. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a logistical piece. You mentioned that document is going to be up somewhere where people can add to it. Where would they find it?
Maybe you could help us with that. I mean, we could put it in through the chat, but the chats are sessions. So maybe there's a way we can put something out to the whole with the link in it, and then folks can come in because it'll be a Google Doc. So
Google Sheet, yeah.
Okay, so maybe Wendy and Julia, we can talk about that and send a message out to people as to where they're going to find this document that they can add to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the wonderful things about this is that you know, it becomes a living creation of the conversations. Mm-hmm. So you may find folks, you may find as you're going through some of your other sessions, it might stimulate an idea that you feel should be added to this Google Sheet. So that's why we want to make sure that it's accessible to folks to be able to add to it. There's lots of us who need some processing time, some rumination time away from a screen as well to be able to think about what else they would like to add to that.
Agreed.
Okay.
So I forwarded just some questions, some higher level questions from David and Mary Jane to the moderator of the Let's Talk Politics panel, and also a question from the youth that came out of the youth circles this morning, youth learning circles. So they should have lots to get started with, and I believe they're doing a sound check at 12:15. That won't involve us, but that's where they're planning to meet. And it will start at 12:30. So I think if we're okay to go for lunch, it means we've got 40 minutes, well, 38 minutes for lunch by my clock, and we'll see everybody at 12:30.
Sounds great.
Okay, thanks so much, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Really appreciate it.
See you soon.
Have a great lunch, everyone.
Bye.